Hello, and thank you so much for tuning in again. This is Ken Johnson, and welcome to the new stimulus package, Us. My co-host is not in with me today, man, but do I got a surprise for you today. In the studio with me is my good friend, Mr. Charlie Walker. Mr. Walker, thank you so much for coming in.
You're quite welcome. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, I had to have Charlie on the show because he's got a new film out that we're going to see, and what I've heard is already sold out.
Yes,
You
it
can't
is.
buy no tickets. It's
No,
already.
the tickets went on sale, and 2 hours after the tickets were on sale, they were out.
It was gone.
Yeah.
So we're gonna find out why that happened. We're gonna find out a little bit about Mr. Walker and see if we can figure out how did the ticket sales go so fast. You must have a hell of a story that you told. Tell us a little bit about who is Charlie Walker.
Well, I'm the father of a bunch of girls and one boy, and I been living in San Francisco, straight out of Mississippi, since I was 9 years old. My father brought us out here, and we've been here ever since. And I went into the military. I was in the Air Force,
Is that right?
and I was willing to give my life for this country. And when I came back, I learned to my chagrin that people could not be in the Teamsters Union, and black people couldn't be firemen, and just a host of things. And I don't know what it was about it that rubbed me the wrong way. And my father told me one day when he took me to join the Teamsters, and they told me I couldn't get in it. And as I walked out the door, my father touched me on my back and said, "Well, if you want to be a truck driver, you got to buy your own truck."
Oh.
And I think that is the root cause of me being in the trucking business, because it sunk in, and I never was comfortable afterwards. But and then I learned what they cost, and then I got a job, pretty good job. I'm the first black man to work for the San Francisco Chronicle in transportation and home delivery. And it was kind of funny that Mr. Gilroy and Mr. Theriot, who owned the Chronicle at that time, called up Mr. Jack Goldberg and told him, "I don't care. We gave him a job. Let him in the union." It's the same thing that my father used to say, if the white folks want you to have it, you can get it.
You can get it.
Yeah. So I think that's the root cause of it all to it with me. And that's who I am.
Okay, working with the Chronicle, that was nice. Well, how was it? I mean, how was the job?
Well, believe me, it was a good job. One of the things that stick out in my mind, probably more than anything else, and I hope the audience can understand my delivery of this. I had been working in transportation, and one night we were on the dock because the paper broke down, and everybody stands around till they fix it. And so I went to get a sandwich at Foster's, a restaurant across the street. And when I arrived back, as I walked into the room, there was a white fella that we all worked together in transportation telling a nigger joke. And I listened to him, and well and true, the joke was funny. So I laughed. And then that dawned on me, after he did, and he looked at me, and everybody in the room was skittish. And I was the only black person who worked for the Chronicle. And I decided to tell him a piece of my mind. I said, Billy, his name was Billy Kitchens, I'll never forget him. I said, if I thought that was a joke, believe me, I would take it as a joke. But if I thought you were trying to hurt my feelings or make me look small, I'd take you out on the dock and beat your ass. And I never had no trouble. He became my best friend. I got to tell you the honest truth.
Right on.
He used to buy gifts for my children. I mean, and I was the only one in there, and it dawned on me when I left. It was about 50 white guys standing around. I'm going to pull this one out. And,
Yeah.
And I just, I didn't think about the odds.
Right.
Yeah, I just, that was, and I had a very successful job until I saved up enough money to buy my first truck. And then I quit.
So why'd you buy your first truck? What was it? You had a job. I mean, what encouraged you to buy your first truck?
Well,
And what
I
kind of
never
truck did you
wanted
buy?
to, even though I had a good job, I never wanted to work for nobody. So I always thought that I should have my own business. And even all my children today are in business. Every one
Is
of
that
them.
right? Dang.
One of my daughters is the largest black employer in San Francisco.
Is that right?
She owns a large construction company now. And my other daughter is owns a child care center. And my other daughter is the runner of the sewage treatment plant. She's the
Dang.
engineer. So I've had, I didn't raise no boy. My boy was with another woman before I was married. And I had it's been a real successful life insofar as that was concerned. All of my kids are still living and in good health. So I have been blessed insofar as that is concerned.
Okay. Well, Mr. Walker, tell the parents out there, what did you do to equip your daughters with these managerial and business-minded skills? I mean, because a lot of people, a lot of parents out there want the best for their children, and they want their children to be successful and own businesses. And here you have three daughters that's all successful? Four?
Yeah,
I mean,
four daughters, and I have one son who he's also successful, and he's in the head of trucking with the Postal Service.
Is that-
Everybody, I tell you something, I kind of credit it to my ancestors. My ancestors, Aunt Casey, they are the founders of Alcorn College in Mississippi, and
What's the name of it? Alcorn?
Yeah.
Alcorn College.
Yeah, all of my people that I can remember always wanted to. People today say give back. All my people always said we got to help each other.
Yeah.
And I grew up in that atmosphere, and I made my children understand that they had to have that attitude, because ain't nobody gonna do nothing for you if you don't do something for yourself.
That's right. Amen. Yeah.
And so my daughters, I have fights with my kids just like everybody else, but basically I don't have no trouble with them, and particularly the girls. All my daughters love me.
Yeah.
Me and my son fight all the time, verbally, not physically, but verbally.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that's why I always wanted to be in business.
Yeah. But tell us, did you whoop their butt when they got out of line when they was coming up? What was it that
One
they-
time I had to use my belt. One of my daughters was going to school at E.R. Taylor, and the principal called me and said, your daughter, I'm not going to name which one it was, said that she didn't have to do what the teacher told her, because her father would come over here and really teach you a lesson and everything. He called me on the phone, and I went over to the school, and when he started telling me that, she said, I told them. I said, wait a minute, I'm not talking to you. And that went on for about 30 seconds. And I asked him, I said, do you have a private room where I can talk to her? And he said, yeah. And when I opened that door and she walked in there, I took my belt off and beat her butt in school. And he said, oh, you can't do that. You can't. I said, look,
Yeah. What you talking?
if one of my children cannot be chastised by me, you can take her with you.
Yeah.
You call the police, I don't care. Because she didn't come here to sass the teachers and tell the teachers off. She came here to get what the teachers got, and that's what I expect. And based on that, after that, all of my children would tell the other one, don't do that, because he's crazy. He'll come over here and act a fool. So, that was how it was.
Right on. Well, I mean, time we got time is flying. So what we're gonna do right now, folks, is we're gonna show you that clip from the film, and then we're gonna talk about the film, how you know what the ideas was, and but anyway, I can't wait to see this, and I'm so proud of this man. I've always told him that. But anyway, let's take a look at that film here. We're gonna show it right now. Here it comes.
If you burn me, you can trust I will come back one day. And then I'll remind you that you broke our trust by putting a bullet in your... You can call me Charlie.
You got any coke, Charlie?
This is our spot. We live here.
No strings, just me. How can I help you?
You can't be the boss.
What? Because I'm black?
Let it ride.
I figure between you and me, we cleared $375,000 each.
Give them money. I don't care if you have to sneak up behind them and stuff 20s in their pockets.
You let that colored boy put his hands on you. You're on the wrong side, Dan.
Something tells me you're the boys in charge around here.
What makes you say that?
What happens if we can't find everyone? And some of these people don't get paid?
The magical black superhero. It's a loser.
Let me shut you down.
You think you got me?
Oh, I do got you.
This is still America. And America is still the same place it was yesterday.
You're talking crazy.
Nothing changes overnight. That's right. Ain't nothing changed over the past week, the last month, the last 100 years.
It's like you're the only one in the room who doesn't know you're black.
Man, that looks real good. I can't wait, and I love the title.
You do.
America's still the place. Holy cow! Don't you have a book that's out too?
Yes, I have a book that's named America is Still the Place, and the movie is also named America is Still the Place. But it was just an idea of mine, and now it's a reality.
Yeah.
But I can just tell, black people are so convoluted with wanting to be white.
Don't say some black people. Nah,
Well, I'm not
yeah.
talking about you.
Yeah.
I'm saying if you understand the traumatic experience that my people have had in this country coming up from slavery, not taught independence, and then a black man comes along and want to ride on the bus with white people instead of wanting to buy a bus.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of frown on that because it has led to one of the worst tragedies in the history of mankind, I think. History one day will record that black people in America had a long standing of slavery, which is not over today. Mm-hmm. Because it was chattel slavery before, now it's economic slavery in America. And we have to start to look at life altogether different. I don't have any difference with Martin Luther King. I call it the Martin Luther King, Jackie Robinson syndrome. I don't know why black men couldn't have their own ball team. Mm-hmm. I don't know why we couldn't own our own bus. I don't know why we couldn't have our own lunch counter. And I'm just a firm believer that if you go to Chinatown, you don't see black people or white people working in the restaurant.
That's right.
So there's so many things that I remember when I was a kid. Joe Louis, as dumb as everybody say he was, he had a soft drink called Joe Louis Punch.
Is that right? Oh, I
Yeah.
never heard of that, man. We ought to bring that back.
Yeah, you told me that when I
Yeah,
was talking to you about
yeah.
it. And Sugar Ray Robinson had a business. All of the successful musicians back in the so-called day all owned businesses in our community. Now, I was talking to Willie Brown no later than this morning, I said, Willie, how do we tell these ball players that they owe something?
Please. What did he say? What did
I'll
he
tell
say?
you,
Come on.
I don't care what he say. And he'll probably say, when I talk to you, that's confidential. But Willie said, you're not going to get them to change because they think that they don't owe nothing. But all of us owe something to each other.
Right.
It's like I told my neighbor where I live. I live in Bayview, where I've always lived. And I told one of my neighbors, and he said, I'm going on vacation. I said, I'll be watching your house like it is mine. He said, oh, thank you. I said, because when I go on vacation, I expect you to watch my house. And he was a white man.
Yeah.
He said, don't worry. I'm going to be looking out for you, Charlie.
Yeah,
So,
that's great.
You know,
Yeah.
we have to start to change our whole attitude. One of the things I hope that young people get out of my movie, and one thing I hope that college students, to go to school and get a master's degree, to go to school and get a doctorate degree,
Right.
has not helped us. Education has not helped us to be able to be, not when we graduate, we looking for Pac Bell
Right.
for another job.
Yeah.
We should be looking to say, how can we build some
How
jobs?
can we rebuild our community?
That's right.
You know, and create jobs ourselves. This just like the addition. You know, we're going through. I really appreciate you coming to the rally we had Saturday. And
I
we're
told
trying to
you,
reopen it.
excuse me, I told you I couldn't come, but I'll be honest with you, I couldn't resist.
Right on.
Because wherever our people are trying to get together to do something for themselves, I have to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciated the invitation, and I came because I tell you, white people will like us still if we own our own
Right,
business.
that's right.
Chinese people will love us if we do, and all other people will. But we can no longer wait for Glide Church to feed us
Come
3
on.
meals a day.
That's right. And if we have our own businesses, that's going to reduce the crime in our area automatically, because the people will have skills. Now, there was a meeting I just came from at City Hall talking about the Warrior Stadium. So I posed the question. Now all these buildings they got going, they don't have no kind of where they make sure the compliance. They don't have no kind of compliance where they hire within the community first. You know, instead of going outside of the community. You know, you got all these brothers and sisters, minorities that ain't got no skills. Then they building all these buildings, and then they bring in people from out of town to get to work to work.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't blame these white people for isolating us off in the corner, because we have to start to say to Japan, we are not buying any more Japanese products. You see, there's a way for us to get around this. All the thing we have to start to do is understand that we have buying power. And when you put the stranglehold on the buying power and can direct your people, when we can direct 40 million people in the direction we want them to go in to spend their money, we will gain the respect of everybody. But now, I know a lot of people going to say, well, how you going to do that? I don't have all the answers, but as many master degrees and doctor degrees that our young people got, there's got to be an answer to how do you become self-reliant.
Well, here's one I wanna ask you. Do you think it's a good idea? Now you got all of these black sororities and fraternities, and now the AKA had the Moscone Center for a week. It was this first time I saw so many black women, black women in my life. I went inside; it was full. All these black women, and they had for a week, and I don't think no other organization or no other black organization I know of has had the Moscone Center for a week, and these are all sisters. So with all these fraternities, it seemed like we could, if we could get them all together to donate to our cause, maybe to fix up the addition or help us and help the Long Island, and to help rebuild the infrastructure of San Francisco, when they come, then they could be proud that they contributed. Do you know how we might be able to touch base with those people? Or you think they might
no,
help us out?
I don't think
Why?
so. I don't think so because, you know,
Why wouldn't they do that?
You have to understand, educated by a total white society makes blacks think they are a part of it. And it's okay to look for Pac Bell or a Packard Bell to give you a job. The day is coming, and I tell you why black women aren't doing anything. It look like they're doing something, but they're not doing anything because if they don't bring us with them, they done carried us on their back all this time,
yeah.
and we're not men enough to understand. It's time to get off of our women's back.
Yeah.
It's time for us to take the reign and do something for our people. You know?
Okay. Well, our time is almost out now. Let's talk about the movie. Where's it playing at? It's
I almost forgot the movie. Well, let me tell you, the movie's premiere is going to be in San Francisco at Sundance at the Kabuki Theater on Post and Fillmore.
That's Post and Fillmore. Okay.
June the 11th. And I'm going to tell everybody, I think they're going to have 2 or 3 showings because there are no tickets. I tried to get a ticket and I got ran out of the office.
So maybe we could get if we get the mayor to open up the addition, maybe we could have a screening in there.
Well,
Just a little theater in there.
That's a conversation that we all need to have. You know what I told them that I'm trying to get my management to do is rent a tent that will hold 5,000 people and invite all black people from the Bay Area to a free showing of this film in Bayview Park.
Okay, that sounds great.
If I can pull that off, then I just want to tell them all.
See, please tune in. Okay.
I just want to tell all of them that, I want this picture to strike a nerve that we have to stop getting an education and start looking out for our people rather than ourselves.
Right. I agree. I totally. I'm just so proud of you. Now I remember when they had the big oil spill in the Bay, and you got that contract, but I went down. I went down there where you was working. This is before. After it was all over, and because I had been down there when I was younger, we used to hang out in that beach, and I went down there, and that road. That was a cliff. To drive a car down there, and you drove trucks full of that stuff up there.
Let me tell you
Kim, please tell us.
Let me tell you something.
What's the name of that?
Stinson Beach.
Stinson Beach. Folks, if any of y'all have been to Stinson Beach, you know how narrow that trail is, and if you look down, it's way down there. Now, Charlie and his crew drove those big semi trucks full of that dirt with oil on it, cause he's one of the ones that clean up all that oil and made a bunch of money. But to drive that truck on them roads, you had plenty soul, man. I say, man, cause it's scary just to drive a car down there and up.
Well, I'm telling
tell
you,
us
man,
how you.
when I was in the military, and when you're in the military and they put you in an airplane and the airplane you was in gets shot down, or when you escape and get back with your other men and stuff like that, I never have been afraid to do anything. I think I'm kind of loose, I got a screw out here somewhere.
No, you dedicated. You fearless, man. You fearless, man. Cause I said, man, I don't know if that's in the movie, but
yeah,
man,
it's a funny movie because you know what it really is about is that when you see the movie, I think where you really get an understanding of me is when you read the book. And they will be selling books. They're printing books now. We're out of books, and they will be printed. I think they'll be ready in 2 weeks. Okay. And I'm going on a little book tour, but I think that if we can endure slavery
Yeah.
and hanging of our people, then we can take chances to better our condition in this
Right.
country. And I'm tired of everybody saying things are better. How are they better when the whole society has moved away from us?
Right.
And we still standing back
Right.
and wanting them to give us
Right,
something.
right. Going, asking for jobs, and we should be creating. We should have our own Google and this and that. And
Hey, man,
and,
I
and
swear.
I agree with you, man.
I
Totally.
appreciate you having me given this opportunity to be on your show. And the only thing I really want to say, I want our people to understand one thing. If we can get together and boycott, you ain't nobody gonna stick no dog on you, ain't nobody gonna squirt no water on you, and ain't nobody gonna blow your church up. We must boycott companies that don't do business with us. Because if you don't do business with us, we're not gonna do business with you. It's just that simple.
Right, right. Okay, well that gives me the idea, like the Warrior statement, the Warrior Stadium. If we are successful in our little video venture, you know what I was trying to pull off at Yoshi's, not the edition, then we should have a contract to film. To film. We don't have to film the games, but interview the different players and different stuff like that.
Yes.
Before we have to get an agreement before they even build a statement.
They're not
Stadium.
going to let one black company get none of that work. I'm going to tell you something before it happens.
Well, we got to fight for it. We got to fight for it. You got to fight just like you fight. You fought, and you always came up on top because you wasn't scared to fight. You know, I mean, that's one thing I really like about you, Charlie. You always. I remember when you was getting in the video and you asked me to help, and you know, I'm so used to not having nothing. I was you know, I had some trying to cut corners and putting wires together.
I know
and you
what
got
you mean.
real mad when he got mad at me instead of I was trying to cut corners. I didn't know you had it like that, you know. But anyway, I know you're right. I felt the same way. I've never wanted to work for nobody. You know, even when I was at Channel 9, I didn't like. I was producing stuff, but I was producing stuff they wanted me to produce. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to produce black stuff.
That's been my problem.
You know, so now that's why I'm here today, folks. Trying to bring you the best programs I can bring you to encourage you to do the best you can, because we got to do that. It's up to us. You know, just like the name of the program, the new stimulus package, us. That's the new stimulus package, is us. So we got about 30 seconds. Charlie, you want to just say one more time about the show coming up? There's no tickets, but how can they find out about the tickets? Is there a website?
They're telling me it'll be advertised like all other movies, and I didn't realize it was as good as it is until George Lucas let us use his studio over in San Rafael, and it was a packed on. They were going to have one showing, and they ended up having 4 showings.
Okay. All right, folks. Thank you so much again for tuning in every Tuesday at 5:30. Thank you so much. Thank you again, Charlie. Great. That was fun.
Yeah, it was a fun show.